Dreadnoughts serve the Adeptus Astartes as venerable heroes of their respective chapters. Interred within giant walking tanks, distinguished fallen Astartes serve the Emperor's will even in death by piloting his machines of war, their name valorously inscribed upon the Dreadnought's plating. Armed with powerful long and short-range weapons, Dreadnoughts tower over most foes of the Imperium as hulking symbols of humanity's will made manifest. These armored behemoths carve paths through heavily fortified enemy positions and wreak havoc amongst infantry battle lines and important defensive positions. Surprisingly agile for their bulk, Dreadnoughts interface directly with their human host via mind impulse units, synchronizing with the ergonomics otherwise characteristic of a living being. Though for its unyielding inhabitants, life outside their metal sarcophagus is impossible. Armed with twin-linked autocannons, las cannons, heavy bolters, heavy flamers, multi-melters, plasma cannons, assault cannons, and many close combat weapons, the Dreadnought is one of the single most deadly weapons employed by the Adeptus Astartes. With their pilots helmed by veterans of countless battles, no enemy of the Imperium is safe from the wrath of the Emperor's most dauntless sons. Destined for the remainder of their existence to battle and then slumber between engagements, Dreadnoughts are awoken from stasis only in the chapter's most critical hours of need, whether that be in glorious combat, or in imparting wisdom to the younger brethren of their chapter. Ancient in their initial construction during the Age of Strife, the means to construct Dreadnought chassis has been lost to the Imperium, though many variants still exist in the 41st millennium. As such, Dreadnoughts of the Adeptus Astartes are revered as ageless forebears and embodiments of their chapter's values, deeds, and glories. Once destroyed, Dreadnoughts are salvaged to be utilized again for the unfortunate casualties of war, too broken to fight without assistance. The bodies within fallen Dreadnoughts return to their chapter's mausoleum to finally be put to their long-deserved final rest. Coated in ceramite and adamantium, the Dreadnought's muscles are constructed from electrofiber bundles and magnecoils to simulate organic movement. Beginning with the construction of the proto-Dreadnought designs, such as Furibundus, Lucifer, and Deredeo patterns, the most commonly fielded in battle during the wars fought by the Imperium are the Castroferum pattern of Dreadnought. Utilizing adaptive thermic reactors, differing from most Dreadnoughts due in part to its smaller size, allowing for the Castroferum to conduct wider varieties of engagements such as direct assaults, tunnel warfare, subterranean combat, and other niche environmental skirmishes. Assault Dreadnoughts are armed with two close combat weapons such as power claws, enabling the pilot to carve a path through enemy lines with unmatched shock tactics when deployed in conjunction with drop pods. Hellfire Dreadnoughts replace their close combat weapon with missile launchers, sacrificing its close-range defenses for overwhelming long-range fire support. The Siege Dreadnoughts are deployed exclusively for use against fortified positions. Armed with Flamestorm and Inferno cannons, they also utilize assault drills to punch holes within fortresses and enemy fortifications. Ironclad Dreadnoughts are optimized for close combat without sacrificing firepower. Fitted with underslung storm bolters, heavy flamers, and melter guns, the Ironclad expunges vast swathes of infantry at medium and close range. The Mortis Dreadnought, similar to the Hellfire, uses twin-ranged weapons, and is particularly favored by the Dark Angels and Unforgiven chapters of Adeptus Astartes. Combining two weapons of the same type, the Mortis dual-wields las cannons, autocannons, heavy bolters, or missile launchers to deadly effect. There also exist Legion-specialized versions of the Castroferum design of Dreadnought, which are passed down to their successor chapters, such as the Furioso Dreadnought of the Blood Angels, close-range Dreadnoughts armed with Blood Fists, Blood Talons, Magna Grapples, and Frag Cannons. Further specialized within the Death Company, the Furioso's pilot's Black Rage further adds to its onslaught. Another variant of the Furioso can be piloted by the chapter's Librarians. Fitted with psychic hoods and force weapons, the Librarian Furioso Dreadnought unleashed massive psycho energies whilst carving through its enemies with its physical weapons. Doomglaive Dreadnoughts are deployed by the demon-hunting Grey Knights. Fitted with Aegis protective prayers, runes, and wards, the Doomglaive bolsters the psychic defenses of its battle buffers, while also providing superior firepower. Deathwatch Dreadnoughts are exceedingly rare, as internment within them ensures a Space Marine shall never return to their Legion of Origin, and serve until the final death amongst the Deathwatch. Known as the Old Ones, these dreadnoughts are a symbol of the chapter's holy duty to cleanse the galaxy of foul Xenos. The Space Wolves arm their scoured warbringers with strange and deadly weaponry, such as Hellfrost cannons, lizard shields, and Fenrisian great axes, serving until Morkai shall claim his due. And for the longest-serving dreadnoughts, they are bestowed with the title of Venerable Dreadnoughts. Known by their battle brothers as Ancients, the venerable dreadnoughts of the Adeptus Astartes are armed with more volatile and less efficient weaponry compared to their younger counterparts. Yet for these shortcomings, the venerable compensate with their vast experience, millennia of service, and indomitable will. More difficult to rouse from slumber, the Ancients are often a considerable drain on an Astartes chapter's resources to keep functioning. Replacement parts for damaged components are scarce, leading to these dreadnoughts to dwindle continually over time to almost mythic proportions of scarcity. Yet for their faltering age and utility, these legendary figures of the Astartes are regarded highest amongst their brethren, with some including the Space Wolf Bjorn the Fell-Handed, roused from slumber every century to impart his wisdom and counsel to his chapter. Yet of all the dreadnought patterns, there are few more ancient nor resplendent than the Contemptor pattern. More powerful than any variant of dreadnought, the Contemptor served primarily during the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy with distinction. Fitted with heavy bolters and close-range combat weapons, the Contemptor can be fitted with extra armor plating and a vast array of alternative weaponry. The Contemptor also projects an automatic shield to protect itself, with some Contemptor dreadnoughts being armed with unique weapons crafted during the Dark Age of technology. However, another pattern of dreadnought exists that looms large over the stature of the Contemptor: the experimental Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. Created in limited numbers, the Leviathan was developed in secret on Terra without the knowledge of the Mechanicus. Armed with close combat and support weaponry, the Leviathan would rend buildings and vehicles into little more than rubble, though its immense power would be a drain on its systems, seeing it unfit for use within the wider Imperium. Yet as these patterns are rare in the extreme, a new design of dreadnought would be crafted alongside the Primaris project, masterminded by Archmagos Dominus Belisarius Cawl. The Primaris Redemptor dreadnought stature is taller and broader than its Castroferran predecessors. Armed with heavy onslaught Gatling guns, macroplasma incinerators, power fists, and an array of other weaponry, these bastions of destruction gallop into the thick of combat, unleashing torrents of destruction. Though arguably the mightiest of all dreadnoughts belongs to the Emperor of Mankind's stalwart protectors, his gilded sons, the Adeptus Custodes. For it is a near blasphemous concept that a Custodes can fall in battle, yet for he who falls in the light of the Emperor, he shall serve within the gilded tomb of the Telamon Heavy Dreadnought. Similar in stature to the Leviathan pattern dreadnought, the Telamon bears striking resemblance to the Custodes Aquila pattern of Terminator armor. The Telamon fights with the use of Arachnos storm cannons, Iriastus accelerator culverins, Telamon Seste power fists, plasma projectors, and a back-mounted Spiculus bolt launcher. The Contemptor Achilles design of dreadnought is a variant vastly superior to its Astartes counterpart. The Achilles is armed with a deadly dread spear for close combat. Its other Contemptor variant, the Galatus, bears striking resemblance but replaces the dread spear with a Galatus warblade and Praesidian shield. With only a handful of these designs being forged, the Custodes dreadnoughts are doubtless the single rarest dreadnoughts in existence, standing silent and empty until a truly remarkable Custode falls in battle. With a segment of its plating constructed by the Emperor's own hand, there is no armor more righteous in its duty to protect its wearer. For the sons of his Imperium shall stand and fight unto the bitter end, and should death attempt to claim them, the dreadnoughts of the Imperium shall deny the void its prize, for even in death they shall serve.